versus certain fixed amount of money. You deserve 25,000, and you deserve 25,000. I have two sons. That's what 50,000. You still got how much left? 900 and. That's one thing. But we're not dealing with set numbers. We're only dealing with halves, quarters, sixths, eighths, etc.
Yeah, so my thing was basically like, so a father dies, and so 1/3 goes to the son, right? Now you have, out of let's say $100, you have 1/3 left, so $66 left. Then 1/4 goes to the daughters.
Understood.
Then 1/4 is left. So do you split all at once? Do you split brothers, sons first, then daughters, and
No, it's all split up equally.
at the same time?
Yes. Yes, you have $100. However, fourth, whatever that person is allotted to. And of course, there's some people who have a specific amount and portion. And there are some people who, we explained this, they only inherit based off of circumstances. They don't control their destiny. واضح؟ والله تعالى أعلم. I'll tell you, who built the Suez Canal? And when was it built? And why was it built?
Great question. It was built in the early 1900s.
I'm asking you.
It was built to connect so that traders didn't have to go around Africa. They could just go through the Mediterranean and go to right,
For who? Everybody or for certain people?
the Europeans.
All Europeans? Who? Of all countries or certain countries? Such as? Is a reason why? Britain. Britain built it? Or Suez? What type of name is that? That's an Egyptian name? Who was fighting at the time? Who were the main rivals of Europe? What were the main rivalries of Europe? France, Britain. We can agree on France and Britain for sure. So for Britain to have access right to India would be extremely what? Convenient. And for them to be blocked that access would be extremely convenient for France, right? Tight. All right. Panama Canal. Whole nother side. Who built that? Who attempted to build it and make it? America. America didn't attempt. They made it. What did he say? He said, "Stars and stripes, baby." This ain't no. He said, what did he say to the French guy? He said, He said, "Stars. This is stars and stripes. This is different, huh?" Tell you, who attempted to make the Panama Canal? Who was ahead in engineering at the time? It wasn't America for sure. Okay, Germany. Who else? French as well. So the French they started the Panama Canal, correct? And then they failed what? Horribly. For a very long time, loss of lives, loss of money, disaster. Who came in and took the glory at the right second? Stars and stripes. Tayyib. Al-Muhim, you should go back to the history of Suez Canal, Napoleon's Egyptian campaign, okay, and the importance of the Panama Canal and its significance with regards to the United States, right? And the South American countries, Central America is much, much deeper than what you think it is. All right? والله تعالى أعلم. طيب. تفضل يا أخي. وفيكم أحسن الله إليك.
In relation to the question the brother asked earlier about the inheritance, now, what about those people who are related to the person who died, but they don't qualify to get any of the inheritance, but it's an encouragement to give them if they witness, if there's something left. How does that work out?
Well, first and foremost, as we explained before, there's the will and then there's the inheritance. All right? So the general rule is you aren't to give more than 1/3 of your wealth in a will. Some scholars allow for more than 1/3 of the wealth to be given if the heirs are okay with it, if they're all right with it. But the hadith clearly tells us that 1/3 is a lot. So the will serves many purposes. One of the purposes of the will is to give people money who wouldn't inherit. All right, and there's a hadith that states, إن الله أعطى كل ذي حق حقه ألا فلا وصية لوارث. That indeed Allah has given the rights to all of those who deserve those rights, and there should be no wasiyah for an heir. That hadith isn't necessarily the sound hadith. All right, but the ruling of heirs being excluded from the will, if they were in the will, that would mean that we get what? Double, which would be unfair. They get a half, they get a third, they get a sixth, and I can put them in the will. Versus me putting in the will, donating my wealth, my estate, my car, my house, my books to someone who isn't connected to me with that type of relationship. Well then, so that is a flight square. That's an escape from that difficulty, is the will. But it shouldn't swallow and exhaust all of the wealth. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Inshallah, unless there are any questions. Fadl?
So if a person dies like a Muslim, but he didn't pray, and you say that someone doesn't pray is not a Muslim, but you're the only person there, you have to pray his janazah.
You can't pray janazah upon a non-Muslim. So if you consider that person to be an apostate, his body is what? Aywa. Allah al-Musta'an. Fadl.
Sorry.
About the leader praying the janazah, what if the deceased person says, I want so-and-so to pray the janazah?
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with appointing someone as long as that person is righteous and knowledgeable. That's fine, inshallah. Wallahu alam. Fadl. Fadl. Bismillah.
So for the timings of Isha, right? Is it at midnight or is it the whole night?
Well, there are two different views of the scholars of Islam. Some say that Salat al-Isha goes out when Salat al-Fajr comes in. And others, they say Muntasiful Layl, the middle of the night. Not 12 a.m., but the middle of the night, from Maghrib to Fajr. And some say that the most preferred time, and you shouldn't push it past the mid of the night without an excuse or a reason. So there are different views with regards to that. A person shouldn't delay Salat al-Isha if he feels that he's going to fall asleep or forget about it or be preoccupied. You can't go after the virtue of delaying Salat al-Isha, in which there is a virtue, at the expense of abandoning the fard. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I feel good now, but I'm going to start snoozing and snoring. Allah, do the fard and don't chase after the recommended reward at the expense of missing the fard. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
So the hadith is like, I mean, this is from my limited, right, like knowledge. The hadith is clear that when Jibril came and gave the prayer time, he said it's until midnight. So I don't understand how compared to this other view.
Well, you got to read about it, inshallah. There's proof and evidence for the scholars who say that it goes out at Fajr. You have several proofs and evidence, not just one proof. Inshallah. Books are here. You can read Nail al-Awtar, Shawkani, and read the argument and the discussion, Subul al-Salam, etc., about when does Salat al-Isha go out. Wallahu alam.
Doesn't that
No, some prayers go out when the other prayer comes in. And there are some prayers in which there's a buffer zone, such as Fajr. When Fajr leaves, Dhuhr doesn't come in. Correct? Asr. A person should not make additional voluntary prayers after the Asr prayer until Maghrib comes in. So it depends on the prayer. Maghrib goes out when Isha comes in. All right? Wahakada. So some prayers have a little, and others back to back. Wallahu alam. Nailul Autar. Nail with a noon. Nailul Autar. Wallahu alam.
Hey, London, UK. I really like this girl, and I want to ask for her hand in marriage. She wears a niqab. I'm afraid if I ask her and see her without the veil, I may not be attracted to her. Advice.
Bismillah. You never know until you try. She could be drop dead gorgeous, or she could be غير ذلك. Other than that. You won't know until you got to give it a shot. As long as you ask properly, respectfully, that you would like to, speak with her guardian, etc. Bismillah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a person wanting to see what a woman looks like from the get-go. I don't want to get into a long, drawn-out conversation and a romantic, courting. I need to see, And others may say, let's talk first. Then after we get a little basic groundwork, then you can see what my face looks like. But I don't want to just show my face to any, person off the street just like that. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
AK, St. Louis, Missouri. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. How can one suppress or stop laughter during inappropriate moments? It's bad manners, but sometimes it's hard to compose oneself.
Allah doesn't put on a soul more than a soul can bear. You try anything above and beyond your efforts, leave it be. It will lead you to waswas. Wallahu alam.
TM, Patterson, California. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it the sunnah after a teen to say Allah is the best of judges? Best judge of judges.
Not in the Fard prayer for sure, definitely. Out loud, not definitely. Perhaps one may say in an additional prayer or a voluntary prayer, certain things, certain hadiths, the Prophet would make dua, the Prophet would ask Allah, the Prophet would seek Allah's refuge. That's in the night prayer. But that should not be done in the Fard prayer. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
MA, Bronx, New York. Is it a sin to ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask Allah for something, make dua for you when you go to visit the grave?
Say the question one more time, please.
MA from Bronx, New York. Is it a sin to ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask Allah for something or make dua for you when you go to visit the grave?
Understood. The Sahaba, they never did that. There are no authentic reports, well-known reports, and the well-known books of hadith and tafsir stating that the companions did that. So therefore the Muslim should stay away from that without any doubt, especially in a time in which there's widespread ignorance and widespread shirk. Widespread shirk. And people are connected to the graves, their hearts are attached to the graves and connected to walis. Stay far away from that. Period. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
MA, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hope all is well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, hope all is well. Sheikh, how does one become a specialist in Ilal al-Hadith?
Ilal al-Hadith. Jazakallahu khairan, barakallahu fikum. How does one become a specialist in Ilal al-Hadith? As Hafidh ibn Rajab, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, is that you must have a great deal of practice. And you must read the books of the masters of Ilal al-Hadith, the works of Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan, and Ali ibn al-Madini, Abdurrahman ibn Mahdi, the works of Imam Ahmad, Imam Muslim, Imam Tirmidhi, Imam al-Bukhari. You got to read their kalam, study their kalam, along with a strong foundational basis in Uloomul Hadith in general. So it doesn't happen overnight. It takes many, many years. And once you've decided that that's what you want to specialize in and focus, then you have to devote your time, your efforts, and your energy to reading their kalam and understanding their speech and practicing what you read under the guidance and the tutelage of a teacher or teachers and your own individual efforts. So, you're going to read Kutub al-Ilal. Mathalan, I've studied Mustalah al-Hadith under these teachers for these years. I'm going to read Ilal al-Daraqutni from cover to cover. I'm going to read Ilal ibn Abi Hatim from cover to cover. I'm going to read Al-Ilal wa Ma'rifat al-Rijal Imam Ahmad cover to cover. I'm going to read Al-Ilal lil-Khalal, Al-Muntakhab min Al-Ilal lil-Khalal from cover to cover. And any book, Al-Ilal al-Kabir, any book that I get my hands on, I'm going to read it. I'm going to write down anything I don't understand, and I'm going to write down the benefits that I come across, and I'm going to spend a great deal of time doing takhrij and reading Kutub al-Jarh wa Ta'dil, Ma'rifat al-Ashab. It takes years. That's the path, inshallah ta'ala. And one of the best books to start off with is Sharh Ilal al-Tirmidhi of Ibn Rajab, especially the second volume. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.
London, UK. What's the best way to raise the hands when getting up from the first tashahhud?
The best way to raise the hands when getting up from the first tashahhud? I don't know exactly what a person means in the question, meaning like what time or how to raise the hands. As far as the time, then you have options. You can stand, you can move before making the takbir. You can make the takbir, then move. You can make the takbir and the movement at the same time. As far as if you're asking how to raise the hands, I don't know if that's the part of the question. The general rule is that the palms should face the qibla. But there's a long discussion concerning the dalil about that. Do the palms have to face the qibla, or can they be like this? Should the fingers be spread, or should they be normal, extended vertically? Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Ibrahim N., Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm coming to visit y'all in October, inshallah. What is your favorite food? I would like to feed my teacher. May Allah bless all the disciples.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah khairan. Ahlan wa sahlan. You're more than welcome here in our masjid. As our brother, inshallah, a disciple. Just let us know when you're coming. That way we're not traveling. We can host you, inshallah. As far as my favorite food, that depends. You cooking it when you come, or you getting it from outside? It depends, inshallah. You got to be clear, be specific. Fadal.
AA, Brent, UK. If someone accuses Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, of illicit acts or attacks my Prophet's honor in front of me, can I take matters into my own hands and lash him 80 times?
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu
What's
Akbar.
appropriate here?
This is our last question tonight. And I would say that if somebody slanders your mother and calls your mother all types of foul things, which equates to your father being a weak, spineless man remaining with your mother for all those years after she knew that she was this and that, I mean, what would you do? We don't promote reckless violence. We don't promote aggression. We don't promote things that are unjust and incorrect. However, if somebody called your mother this and that to your face, which also is an attack and a slander of your father, what would you do? And if you did something or said something that was crazy or inappropriate, I personally wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't what? Blame you. However, if you lash somebody in the UK or whip somebody or tie them up or whatever, put them in the trunk with masking tape, you got to be ready to deal with what? That's it, all right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jealousy for the Prophet is a good thing. Jealousy for Aisha radiallahu anha is a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a praiseworthy thing. Let's not get things confused. We don't want to walk around being, neutered and, emasculated, right? You're supposed to get angry when someone, right? Wallahu alam.